Court's now in session.
What's up, Giants Nation? One Giant Rebuttal here, back with another video. And I could rebuttal. Well, first of all, I hope everybody had a happy new year. Second, I could rebuttal anybody I wanted, but I started getting texts on my phone from a family member blaming Eli for everything. He blamed Eli for the entire game against the Dallas Cowboys. Another blind Giants fan, and that's a large portion of the base, or I'm starting to see that's a larger portion of the base. Uneducated fans just react. You have no idea what they're saying, just react. Mind you, this family member played football up to high school and has been a Giants fan for well over 30 years and doesn't have a basic understanding of the game, which is sad to me. But that's a large portion of the fan base. And he bleeds Big Blue. He will sit in front of that TV and scream his head off. He bleeds it. I've been there. It's annoying. Either way, let's get into some stats and why the Giants aren't successful and why, even if they decide to keep Eli Manning next year, it really isn't that big of a deal. Now, I'm not saying they don't have to move on from Eli at some point. If Eli Manning retires in the offseason, so be it. But Dave Gettleman's got to make the right decision, and I'll get into that later. Now, we'll go on and dive into a little bit of stats here. First off, I'm a big proponent of the team as a whole. You can't just blame everything on one person, because if you're blaming everything on one person, you're not accounting for everybody around that. It's a 53-man roster. If each portion of that team isn't complementing the other portion of that team, it's going to be unsuccessful. We've seen it time and time again, especially as Giants fans. The Browns have gone through it. The Raiders have gone through it. The Arizona Cardinals have gone through it. Many organizations go through it. Don't sit there and tell me about quarterback. Quarterback's the most important position, but it's also the most overblown. Yes, I understand the quarterback holds the ball the most, and a lot of things go into that quarterback. But if you're not going to have stuff right around that quarterback, or that defense isn't complementing that quarterback, that team will fail. You show me a team carried by a quarterback, if you show me a team totally carried by a quarterback, no quarterback can totally carry their team. Not even a quarterback as good as Aaron Rodgers, because he hasn't been back to the Super Bowl since, and that's how quarterbacks are measured. Can you get me to the Super Bowl? But we'll start off in 2000, and since 2011, we only have 8 picks. 8 picks that we've kept since 2011. You know how embarrassing that is? Do you want to understand how bad of a stat that is? And then we get on to defense. Giving up 25.8 points this year, 24.8 points in 2017, 27.6 points in 2015. How are you going to win when you're giving up that many points per game? Sacks, 26th in 2018, 21st in 2017, 30th in 2016, and in 2015, they had 47, which I believe was top 15. Giveaway and takeaways. Being just +2 is not good enough. Good teams are a little bit higher than +2. -3 in 2017, -2 in 2016, and +8 in 2015. The defense hasn't been good enough. The offensive line hasn't been good enough. Even now, they've still given up 47 sacks, and I understand a lot of that came when we were 1-7. But it's still not good enough. Are they opening up holes for Saquon? No, we're 25th in rushing. I understand. The reason why Saquon ran for 1,300 yards is because Saquon is that damn good. No consistency in the running game whatsoever. Yet we're going to sit there and say, hey, he's got Sterling Shepard, or he's got Evan Ingram, or Odell. Has Odell been consistent? No. Has Sterling Shepard been consistent? No. Has Evan Ingram been consistent? No. Saquon Barkley been consistent? No. Saquon Barkley is the closest person to consistency on this team. Has Eli Manning been consistent? No. But you win as a team, you fail as a team. I can understand if every facet of this team was quality. Then you might have an argument, but you have none. Let's look at other quarterbacks in the NFL. We'll take the average ones because that's generally what you're going to draft. You're going to draft an average to good quarterback. These elites come around once every generation for a team. And you have to do your due diligence and project this college player to be good. And generally, there's a consensus if a player is going to go on and become successful in the NFL, like an Andrew Luck, like a Drew Brees. Well, actually, Drew Brees is not a good example. Like Peyton Manning. These are generally your generational quarterbacks where you can see the greatness. Those are the ones that drafted. You can generally tell. If you've got to ask yourself a billion questions about a quarterback or make excuses why you think he can get better, probably not a quarterback that's going to have success in the NFL. I'm not saying some of those guys don't work out. Sometimes you have a project like Patrick Mahomes that blooms into something. But a lot of these quarterbacks are system quarterbacks. Jared Goff, Mitch Trubisky, I've got to see more. Since Todd Gurley's come out, since Todd Gurley's gotten injured, Jared Goff has not looked like the same quarterback. I believe it has to do a lot with Sean McVay. I believe great offensive coordinators can hide deficiencies in a quarterback, like Pat Shurmur did with Casey Keenum last year. And obviously we're looking at what Casey Keenum is doing with Denver Broncos. Your average quarterback looks like Kirk Cousins. Would Kirk Cousins turn the Giants into a playoff team? He couldn't even go to the playoffs with a playoff roster. The same roster that the Vikings had last year pretty much. There's very few quarterbacks you could plug into this Giants team and we become a playoff roster. And if you take your average quarterbacks like your Joe Flacco's, your Ryan Tannehill's, whatever else, because you guys think Eli's the worst of the worst. Everybody says, bottom third quarterback. Well, at some point from 15 and below, that's generally what you're going to get in your next quarterback. Unless you get somebody like maybe a Tua or a Fromm or a Herbert in 2020. But there's no generational quarterback to take in this draft, but yet you want the Giants to take a quarterback for the sake of taking a quarterback. You want to know my early thoughts on Dwayne Haskins? Loopy arm motion. Has trouble with the touch passes, intermediate and out to the outside. Bailed out a lot by great wide receivers at Ohio State. Plays behind a very good front for Ohio State. Doesn't see a lot of rush. Can slide in the pocket, can get outside the pocket. Is mobile. Not the athletic, not as athletic as like a Russell Wilson, but Big Ben-esque, I would say. Big guy, big arm. Doesn't necessarily translate to the NFL. Yet this is all the pundits are going to scream, it's Haskins. Haskins. Giants got to take Haskins, unless the Jaguars or somebody else takes him before us. If Dave Gettleman tells me Haskins is, okay, cool. But if he makes a mistake, you set your franchise back 5 years. You've got to pick the right guy. Now, I'm not saying we don't need to replace Eli. We need to replace Eli at some point. If it's this year, so be it. If it's next year, so be it. But if Eli Manning starts the season next year, is he so bad that we have zero shot of doing anything? The answer is no. Because the team as a whole will improve, because I believe in Dave Gettleman, and he believes in building from the inside out, and that's how you construct a team. So when the next guy, whoever that may be, comes in here, he'll find some sort of success. Don't sit there and tell me how Eli is, it's all Eli, when I just sat there for 10 minutes and told you that it's not. Because your argument holds no water. Because quarterbacks are largely overblown in this league. Because you could have a great quarterback like an Aaron Rodgers and never see the Super Bowl. Besides one time. And Eli's got 2. Talent at the quarterback position doesn't necessarily make a team better. You need to build from the inside out on every single team. That's how every team is constructed. And if you try to construct it any other way, you will not have success. Look at every team that's done that. This has been One Giant Rebuttal signing off. Please like and subscribe, and go Big Blue.